Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Coming to Resolution. I apologize for the lack of content. I was out of town last week, didn't have my computer because I was in a hotel, and we've been struggling, but it's all right. I'll make it. But I had a thought today, just kind of hit me like a train. With After a couple of conversations that I've had, I had a thought about self-sabotage. So we're going to talk about that today and what that kind of looks like. So, if you don't know, I feel like you should, but if you don't know, self-sabotage is it's one of those things where, let's say you have a good relationship or a good job, something really good in your life, right? And whether it be by something you choose not to do or something you choose to do, the decision or indecision fucks that opportunity up just for yourself. Again, that could apply to relationships. It could apply to a job. It doesn't matter. It applies to a lot of stuff. It could even apply to car problems because I know people don't fucking take their cars in. They don't look at car shit. I know shit's expensive, but it's needed. Um, so we're gonna talk about that. Let's start with jobs. When you have a good job opportunity, right? This is an opportunity that will increase your income by a lot or will at least get you on your way to a good career path, or it's good job security, and you decide to not take it, or you do take it and you get fired because you just, in short, turned out to be a shitty employee. Happens all the time. People I One of my friends told me about someone who had a really good job opportunity and said no because it was too much responsibility. Um, but that's kind of what comes with getting more money is more responsibility. You know, if you want to live life and just kind of going through the motions and just kind of surviving, yeah, sure, you could do this. But if you want to end up being in a good spot, then maybe you should take the job. Maybe you should be a good employee, take on the responsibility and fucking do your job. Like I don't want to go to work either, but I do it every goddamn day. No one's going to pay my bills for me. You know, I feel like that should apply to everybody because nobody's going to pay your bills for you. If you happen to find someone who will pay your bills for you, I hope it's in a relationship. But if you have that chance with someone, then that's great. But there's still work that comes with that. You still have to do your role of taking care of the house and um, raising the kids, whatever. There's still work that comes with that. It's not, you just don't have to go deal with corporate bullshit, or maybe not even corporate. Maybe it's just a small business that pays really well, like doesn't matter. But that's a form of self-sabotage. If you're the kind of person, let's say you're in a trade, you dig ditches, you're a lineman, you're like an electrician, I don't know, trades. You're a welder, but you go in to your job and you don't do shit. People catch on to it. Then manager catches on to it. Then you're in a meeting with HR and getting fired because you weren't doing your fucking job. Self-sabotage. Honestly, most things don't take a whole lot of effort. It sounds like shit, and sometimes you get dirty, and sometimes it sucks, but it's really not that difficult. It's like doing the dishes. This is how I'm going to compare it. It's like doing the dishes. I don't want to touch the dishes, but no one's going to do them for me. I got to do those. If I just let them sit there, then dishes get gross and moldy and attract bugs, and I don't want to deal with that. So I do the fucking dishes. You know, I don't feel like it's that complicated. Yes, again, some tasks really suck, but the longer you put it off or the longer you decide to not do certain things, whether that be a job or housework or whatever, there comes consequences. Unfortunately, there are consequences to every action or inaction. You just have to choose which consequences you want to deal with. You want to deal with consequences that will at least reward you with a paycheck or something. That's what you should go for, but or a clean house with no bugs in it or no rats anywhere, it's not difficult stuff. It's just shit that we decide we don't want to do, and then it gets pushed off for weeks. Yeah, I get it. It sucks, but nobody's going to do it for you. Now I want to talk about relationships. I want to move on to that because that's a big one. Self-sabotage in relationships. This can come in a lot of forms. Um, if you decide, let's say you and your partner have been together for a year, right? And you decide, or maybe not even decide, but you just get distant, you stop communicating, you stop having intimate conversations, you stop doing intimate things together, that relationship's not going to last. In fact, I would even venture to say that it's going to end that relationship quicker than almost anything else because you are failing to be a partner, you know? Or you just let's say you have a cycle of going in and out of your head. What I mean by that is getting in these long periods of depression, and instead of working it out with your partner as a team, you retreat into yourself. You self-isolate. That's going to be another conversation. But you are isolating yourself from anyone around you. Anyone who had access to you, including your partner, no longer has access to you because you are stuck in your own head. That also damages relationships badly. It leaves a whole lot of feelings of what am I doing wrong? What what what's going on here? And then that in turn brings a lot of hurt and makes the other person feel like shit about themselves because what are they doing wrong as a partner for you to act this way when even if it's not their fault, if they have nothing to do with it, you are choosing to retreat into yourself and you decide to push everyone away, and that ruins the whole thing, ruins the whole relationship, the whole dynamic even. it, there's a lot of baggage that can come with stuff like that, like you put hurt on people doing things like this. Trust me, I know. You you will find that the more that you push people away, especially people closest to you, the more you push people away and the more self-reliant you become, the less likely that you're going to have the happier relationship. Doesn't matter if it's a new one, doesn't matter if it's an old one, because at some point or another, if you know you can lean on your partner and you can rely on them, that's who you should be going to with your issues. You should not be searching outside of the relationship for relationship problems, especially. But when it comes to you and your partner, you're supposed to be a team. And I understand that there are relationships out there and they're not teammates. They're more like roommates. I get that. But there comes a time where you have a relationship where you can work as a team, you should know. It's say you get 6 months into a relationship, you should know by then whether or not you can rely on that person for stuff like this, right? If you don't know, what are you doing in your relationships? But you should know. You should know whether or not you can rely on that person because that will make or break everything. And they should also know that they can rely on you. And that does mean working together as a team to solve through issues. Your problem is my problem. My problem is your problem. We work together as a team to solve these problems, and we come out of the problem stronger for it. If you can't have hard conversations, even if that is opening up about your feelings, why? Is it because of trauma? Is it because you went through life knowing you can't talk to people because they have shown you that you can't talk to people? The people you have tried to talk to either don't understand or misconstrue. Sure, that's something you need to work on. But um, if that's the case, then you don't need to be diving into a relationship that relies on something like this because you have to be communicative. You have to be willing to go through shitty times with your partner and work it out together. If you decide to self-sabotage your relationship, and it even if it turns out to be like a shitty relationship, then maybe it doesn't matter. But let's say it's a really good relationship, it's healthy, you every time you see each other, it's nothing but a great time. You hang out, and it's even if you're doing simple shit like sitting on the couch, or if you're long distance, you sit on a fucking video call doing other things, it's still a good time. And you can have hard conversations with this person. Why self-sabotage, you know and why go through the heartbreak you're going to cause yourself if you can stop it now? If you can break that cycle of pushing people away and self-isolating and just enjoy being in your relationship, work through things together, then you're going to make it very fucking far. But if you can't do that, you're not making it far in any relationship. Trust me, I know. Um, if and that's one of those things that you build in a foundation, that if you build a strong foundation with in a relationship, then you should be able to have hard conversations, and you should be able to come to your partner with issues that you're having. If it's one of those times you just don't want to talk about it, and most people will recognize that you're not acting like yourself, if they know you, and they're more than likely going to call it out if it's someone that gives a shit about you. That's when you just say, hey, I realize I'm off today, I'm struggling, I don't want to talk about it right now, I don't know what the deal is, whatever. But you still have to come back to that conversation. You can't just, I don't want to talk about it, and never talk about it. If you're not ready for the conversation, then that's what you need to say. But you still have to talk about it. It's a team effort. Doesn't matter which person is having the problems. It is constantly teamwork. If you can't work together as a team, you probably shouldn't be together. you know but if you can learn to break that, and you can learn to not self-sabotage and push people away, and still be as communicative as possible, even if you're not ready for the conversation, that's what you need to say. I'm not ready to have the conversation about this yet, but I am struggling, and whenever I figure it out, I will come to you with it. Or whenever I can sort through this in my brain, I will come to you with it. But honestly, even that isn't super great because you could work it out together. You know, if your partner is someone that you can rely on, you should absolutely be able to work out your own problem as a team. Doesn't matter what the situation is, you know, doesn't matter. If you learn to articulate and you learn to open up, because at this point you should know whether or not you are able to rely on somebody or able to come to somebody with those problems, then that's what you need to be doing. Self-sabotage doesn't work. It doesn't take you anywhere. All it does is push people away and hurt you. All it does. And it hurts other people. If you're pushing people away because you don't know how to handle a situation, that fucking hurts them bad. And whenever you come to your senses, because it will, it's gonna hit you like a fucking truck. Um, and you realize what you did and how bad that this fucked you up because of this, that, and the third. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt a lot. So maybe just avoid the self-sabotage. Learn how to articulate. Learn how to work as a team. You know, it's not as difficult as your brain may tell you. It's not as difficult as your trauma may tell you, but it is absolutely necessary. It can be hard considering trauma. It can be, absolutely. I would know. Um, but it's not impossible. It's not one of those things that you can never hope to achieve. It's never an out of reach goal. That is something that you can absolutely work on. That is, and especially before you get into another relationship, if you're going to do that, then that's what you need to do. You need to work on not sabotaging your own relationships, especially if it's going to be a situation. This happens a lot where, say, 6 months, a year down the road after you've ended your last relationship or you've pushed people away or whatever the fuck, you realize what you did and it fucking crushes you. That is something to consider. Because I promise, if you get to that point, if you get to that self-realization of what you did, of the mistake you made, and of why you're even in this spot to begin with, it's gonna hurt bad. It's gonna hurt really fucking bad. So just don't. Just fucking don't. It's it's not a fun road, but it can be worked on. You just have to do the work. Give yourself the time, set a goal, do the work. That's all I have for that one. Um, I'm gonna I'm gonna talk about self-isolation in the next video, and that's gonna come with a whole different can of worms. I hope you guys have had a wonderful couple of weeks. I hope you guys are doing great out there. I will see you on the next one.